Hey ladies, this is Karen with Curl House, and today we're going to talk about how often do you trim your natural hair. Now, what I first want you to remember about natural hair is that natural hair is just naturally dry. In general, the oil that your scalp produces, because the hair is curly, the oil or the sebum that your scalp produces can't travel down the hair shaft as quickly because of all the bends and turns of the curl. So it just makes your ends drier in general. So the ends of your hair receive little nourishment anyway. And then secondly, if you are constantly combing and twisting and retwisting your hair, if you're the type of naturalista who likes to switch it up a lot, you may need to get your ends trimmed more frequently. So generally speaking, I recommend that you get your ends trimmed every 3 or 4 months. But again, every woman is different. As I said, if you are a DIY person, if you like to do it yourself, if you like to switch it up a lot, you may want to consider getting your ends trimmed about every 2 months or so. Now, there are some right ways to trim hair and some improper ways to trim hair. I first recommend that you always go to a professional to get your ends trimmed. I know you've tried to trim them yourself, believe me, because I've tried it too, but it is just, if I can't trim my hair and I'm a professional, I'm sure it's very difficult for you to do it because you just can't see the back of your hair. Some stylists trim hair curly, some stylists trim hair straight. I do both. However, my preference, particularly if a person hasn't trimmed her hair in a long time, is to do it straight, simply because you can see the ends of the hair better. Now, when I say straight, I don't mean flat iron. I am going to show you a picture of a client whom I trimmed recently. Her hair is flat iron. That is only because she was wearing a blowout as a style. But I mean have your hair blown out straight. It doesn't necessarily have to be flat iron. So let me clarify. And a trim is just that. A trim should be the ends of your hair. That can vary from a fourth of an inch to a half an inch, just depending on your ends. Now, split ends rather, excuse me. Split ends can't be repaired. They can't be repaired. That you have to remove them. Now, there are some things that you can temporarily do to patch them up, like doing a protein treatment will patch up the ends, but that's just temporary. You really do have to get them trimmed. So, when you get them trimmed, again, you want the hair straight, and your stylist, as a stylist, excuse me, I always show my clients, this is what your ends look like. That has helped me over the years as a hairstylist, simply because as hairstylists, we just get accused of cutting all your hair off. So I've learned to show my client, this is what your ends looks like. I'll turn my client around in the mirror so that they can see what I see. Now, because I believe in meeting my clients where they are, some clients, the ends are really, really bad, and they may need several inches cut off, but they just may not be ready for it. So what I suggest is that you grow a little here and trim a little here. So if on average your hair grows an inch every 2 months, trim an inch off every 2 months. That way, eventually, you can get those ends trimmed. Now, what not to do, I have some clients come to me and say, can I twist my hair up and cut the ends that way? You can, but eventually your hair is going to be uneven, because when your hair is two-strand twisted, it's not even. So if you are constantly trimming your ends with two-strand twists, eventually your hair is going to be imbalanced. So I don't recommend that either. Now, if you want to take your ends and just do a little dusting a little bit, that's okay. But for an actual trim, I recommend you go to a professional. So again, I'm going back to this picture. This is my client. She has not had her ends trimmed. Oh, it's been, I don't know, 9 months to a year. It's been a long time since we trimmed her hair. So you can see her hair now. This is her before. And this is after the hair was straightened. And you can look at the ends and literally see what needs to be trimmed off. When you can start to see through those ends, that's a very good indication of what needs to be trimmed off. And this is the after. So because it's been so long, I had to trim at least 3 inches. So technically, when you're getting into 3 inches, that's more like a haircut. But luckily for her, she didn't mind because she wanted a haircut anyway. But when you're getting your ends trimmed regularly, so like I said, about on average once a quarter, you don't have to cut off 3 inches. You can do a 1/4 inch to an inch, just depends on your hair. So get in a habit of getting your ends trimmed regularly. So since I'm showing this client, I'll go ahead and show her after picture. She got a blowout. Hair is nice and straight. She's looking like a bombshell. So I wanted to show you her after picture anyway. Okay, until we talk again, stay fabulous.